so richly, including family photos, including all the gangster stuff, you know, it is a privilege, man. And thank you for entrusting me with that vision. That's how I'm starting this thing.
Let me tell you, like 11 years ago, when I first started rapping, I didn't really know how to count bars, so I didn't know what 16 was. I didn't know you had to have an 8-bar hook. I didn't understand it. I thought like you rap until you got tired of rapping, and then that was a song. So in New York, they call that freestyles. In LA, they call it this dude crazy, because my first demo like didn't have no hooks, because I just didn't know when to stop. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing was, when I was recording, the engineer used to just be like, yo, when the song is over, it's like 3 minutes, 30 seconds, we're good. I didn't understand any of that, man. So when I signed to Interscope, the first 2 years of me being signed, it was basically a bunch of arguments with Dre, because he would try to stop me from rapping, and I would be like, no, that's like, I want to rap more. You know what I'm saying? And so when we did the documentary and we finished the album, and I had a conversation with Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine. They said he was bringing this cat from New York to take photos and do this documentary in my hood. And his name was Jonathan Mannion. I didn't even understand that you needed like a whole production, you know what I'm saying, an album, photo shoot. I thought like you go somewhere downtown, take a picture, and then they use that as the album. So I met Jonathan Mannion, man, and I was like, we going to Compton. I don't think that, had you ever been to Compton at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I shot Quick around the corner from your house in 2002 for Under the Influence.
Yeah,
you know, so I asked for the, actually, it jumps around a little bit, but, you know, we sit up here and we just have conversations like this. This is how it's gonna go. This is a conversation. This isn't statistics. Y'all can go online and check all that out. So this is like real friendship thing that's going down tonight. But look, I called you up because I wanted to make an important statement straight out of the gate. We had amazing conversations, you know, back and forth, and you were kind of giving me your perspective. You're like, look, I'm not here without the people that kicked down all the doors ahead of me. It's NWA, it's the DOC, it's, you know, Big Daddy Kane, it's everybody, it's that whole generation. And I said, look, you know, let's make sure that this message doesn't get filtered, you know what I mean, through, you know, label concerns, or, oh, that's too many guns, or that's a lot of weed on the table. You know, like, I asked you for the address, and I was like, look, I'm just gonna show up a day early, and we're gonna rock. And we did some of the most important pictures, actually, in the whole, you know, session, and some of the ones that are, you know, truly legendary today. Yeah. Which I'm gonna jump to, man. I wanna show you, because I wanna know your feelings looking at these pictures of where you were at this moment, right? So I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna give him a little intro though, because he probably needs an intro. He's a new artist, man. He's coming up in the game though. So this dude right here started with probably one of the biggest like entry points into the game of anybody ever, like most anticipated. It wasn't like, he's got a buzz, yeah, we're checking for him. It's like, no, this brother is the chosen one. Like, and he's coming, you know, and you know, certainly he stayed well surrounded by various and assorted people that were, you know, creating hits, major at that point. And for me to have documented this moment and to kind of learn a little bit about him before I even really had a conversation about the album, you know, we were shooting for XXL and we created images, man, that I don't even know if you remember, but I really knew at this point, I was like, oh, the kid's got it. You know, not to mention I'm shooting Eve and Busta, one knows on the album, and Dre on the album. You know, it's like, this is incredible. And this is sort of, you know, that early moment from that day, and it's sort of, I'll let you pick it up from here. But this was one of the shots that we just did on our own. It was me and my crazy ass in Compton with two equally crazy assistants showing up to create magic, but with reverence at the core of everything that we were doing.
Yeah, this picture right here is funny because the first thing I noticed is that I didn't have on a belt. So at this time, for some reason, I was 23 years old, and I thought like I had this concept. I was like, I don't wear belts because can't nothing hold me. You know, it was my thing.
That is 100%.
It was dumb, but that was my thing. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't wear belts because I felt like, you know, that was too much like hold me back. You know what I'm saying? So every time I see pictures from that day, it looks so stupid.
But it worked for those that needed that in that moment. Like you set trends.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
you know,
for most people look at this picture and they thought, you know, this dude is hard, he's young, he's from Compton. I look at it, I see the no belt thing that I think was just stupid, and I see my hair was bald. At that time, I wouldn't grow my hair because I was like low-key ashamed of having like good hair. You know what I'm saying? So I thought like, you know, you young, be hard, like, let me just have bald hair, because if I grow my hair, it gets curly, and then niggas ain't gonna like really believe that I'm thugged out. So I just kept it bald head for like 5 years, man.
Well, look, I think that they would believe that you were for real, man, when we took this picture. This is also day one. This is a life-changing picture for a lot of people. A good friend of mine, Andrea Andrews, 63-year-old woman, handful of years ago, man, an educator, like brilliant mind attached to higher forces. She walked and she was like, oh man, I knew who both of you were in that moment for documenting this thing.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny about this is this picture started off, this is a couple other shots from it, but it started off as you eating a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
But thanks to your friends that you were surrounded by, and you were well surrounded on that block
Yeah.
for many reasons, but like they contributed like, yo, with cereal, you gotta have a little bit of weed, and if you got a little bit of weed, you gotta have a little more, and then you gotta have a gun to protect the weed, and then it just like builds up. But this was one of those moments that like built organically out of nothing. Tell me like where you were in your mindset with this, because this is like by any means necessary.
Yeah, we
2.0.
We did this photo shoot in our dope spot in Compton, and you know my brother's still staying in the house to this day for God knows what reason. I've been asking him to, you know, throw in the towel for a minute, but that's just, I guess he love it, man. He want to die there, so that's what he do. But in this moment, man, I just was in my element, because every morning at that point, and at this point the documentary was completed and we were just shooting photos, and I had a little money. I didn't really see no point in moving out the hood, so this is where I was waking up, and the only person, like my mom would call me every day or chirp me, because we had chirps at that time. Mom would chirp me and just say, "Are you stupid? You need to move off of that. You need to move off of that block. You're dumb. You're a star now." I'm like, all right. And yeah, man, this is me every day, man, basically.
Yeah, man, and look, I have to say, man, it's been a privilege, man. A lot of people, you know, they kind of run through their course and they kind of change and become something else or different, or like kind of push you to the side and, you know, get new crews and stuff. Like, you've always maintained what's been an honor, and again, I'll touch on it, you know, to see the same faces that you're surrounded with, man. That's a testament to your character, the way that you led people into your world, you know, on TV and otherwise, and you touch people on the Robin Hood Project. Like, these are all things, man, that are like genuinely from you. These aren't like publicity stunts to be cute. Like,
Right.
you know, I don't know, man. I'm up here anyway. And we're gonna discuss some goodness, man. So
Yeah, man.
this is you know, I think about,
This is the kid who yesterday told me, can he get dropped off at the mall to hang with his homies?
yeah.
And I was
He was
like,
what, 1 at this point?
He was 1 year old, man, and that was the only picture where he was happy. Remember that day he was crying? His
I got a
mom was-
couple though. I got a couple happy ones, but yeah, there's a couple crying ones, lower corner, crying. But the flyest kid in all of LA at that point with an NWA Shane Fly. But you know, this speaks to, again, like reverence and paying homage to, you know, like a little touch of maybe a Biggie cover.
Yeah.
You know, these were all little things that were very calculated, while we still wanted to make it our own and to claim something, you know, that was beyond. You know, just sit up against something on a stool or something. We wanted to bring in elements of culture. And this is probably, I would say arguably one of the most, you know, important pictures in hip hop. And I know I took it, and, you know, I can stand outside of myself and I'm fly and all that stuff. But like, you know, this is, you know, it's up there with DMX and the Blood for me, Reasonable Doubt. Like, these are the important ones, and I think that set a trend that certainly continued, you know, as did this. And this was the non-happy day.
That's the last time I seen my D'Angelo little things right there. I ain't seen them in 10 years for sure.
Stretch. Yo. You know, we use these as like points of reference and platforms to build upon. You know what I mean? And we kept on going through, you know, and, you know, I equate these tires, you know what I mean, to growth for you. And each time, and we've done it, whether a label came in like, oh, the tires again, dude, really? You have any other ideas? Oh, you didn't? Like, get out of here, man. You know, it's like we're using these things as like sketchbooks, as point of reference for next stuff that we're gonna build. You know, we do it because we feel like doing it, and it's us, and that's who it really matters to, I think.
Yeah, and this is a picture 2 years later to when he was 3 years old. My son Harlem. I named my son Harlem because the first time I came to New York, Jim Jones picked me up, And I thought we was going to the studio, but he took me on like a drug run. We went to like 6 apartments, collecting money, and we never made it to the studio. And so I spent my first day in Harlem, New York, never went to my hotel. He never took me to check in. That's the type of friend Jim Jones is, you know? And yeah, so I named my son Harlem because of that. And so yeah, this picture right here is two years later, and you can see my son smiling because he at that point he was in a rich kid preschool, so he was happier, you know. And yeah, John, man, you kill it, man.
We kept on doing it. All right, we had gold ones the first time. Little, okay, we're going a little bigger. We got more.
We got a little money.
You know, again,
went platinum.
It was always about growth for me. It's always metaphors. It's not like the tires had any special meaning. And maybe you can say, I mean, do the tires beyond West Coast staples have a meaning to you?
I think for the Dayton Wires, man, and just a good Goodyear tire on the Impala. I think that there's so much West Coast lifestyle in that, you know what I'm saying? So many people have died over those rims, man. Cars have got jacked. People have saved for months and months trying to buy them, and I just felt like, the Dayton tire was just a timeline for me in my life. Like, it was just everywhere, you know what I'm saying, from my childhood. I mean, when Easy, first put, his blue 6.4 Impala on gold Daytons, I mean, after that, it was... Everybody wanted that, you know what I'm saying? And for NWA, and for everybody don't know, I know the movie came out and Straight Outta Compton is doing his thing and whatnot, but to be a kid in Compton and to have gone to the Compton swap meet and really received toys from Eazy-E on Christmas and turkeys from MC Ren and Yella, like that's how I grew up, and that's what it was. So, the Daytons, man, they kind of symbolize where I'm from and who I am.
Yeah, man. Moving on, we got more tires. We continued the tire theme.
Yeah.
We had a lot of tires at that point. You were doing some tire movement at that point. This was funny. Even at 3 years old, and even the cushy preschool, man, he was still having a little moment. I don't know if you remember this, but these are always so funny to see as a benchmark. Like, little did I know that he's just secretly getting family portraits out of me, like at every shoot. So he's like, yeah, let label pay for this.
I still ain't had a belt though. You see what I'm saying? Nothing couldn't hold me for the first 5 years of my career.
I know it's
so stupid, man.
Christmas and Kwanzaa. We moved into, some other images, man, and these things, again, I speak about the importance of, like, knowing kind of, the steps that you've taken in order to inform the next one's coming, you know what I mean? So this was a position that I sort of remembered. We just had two ill cars brought through, but then I remember your son kind of did this pose against these two tires like this, and I was like, man, let's use this as a point of reference, man, and do something for documentary 2. And this is, one of the images I think that we considered early on, in sort of run a show, to be able to use. So kind of going back to the body of work, this is round 1 on the block, and we created things, man, that I think have a massive amount of meaning.
Somebody said, what are those? those are them Nike ID Huaraches with your name on the back. Everybody has some. Don't front. That was the first pair of Nike IDs. He said, what are those? Fuck you.
Security, can we get that guy out? Yeah, the guy back there. Yeah. Again, talking about being informed, we use these and applied it to what became the One Blood video, which a little bit later, I know we talk about documentary 1 and 2, but I don't think you can really talk about one without the other, and the whole journey by segmenting it out because of what we contributed. So this one on the block, man, tell me who you were as this fly, 25-year-old kid at this point?
Man, at that point.
Who were you right there?
I was 25, man, and in this picture, still in the same block, same house. I had money at this point. And I still didn't move, man. I just loved my block. And I remember getting into a point where I was a huge rap superstar at this point, but I still stayed on my block. And before you would even come on my block at that time, you would get guns drawn on you as soon as you hit the corner, because we stay on a cul-de-sac. And they would just ask you who you're here to see. And if you wanted to see me, it made me feel like a Nino and a Carter a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And even though now I look back at it, and we was all taking penitentiary chances. I mean, back then it was kind of cool to be like the boss or something,
I would, venture a guess and just say that you are still the boss of a whole hell of a lot right now, man.
It's so that run has the kids, they make you soft, man.
Nah, we talked about that a little bit, but you still got it, man. Using that as a point of reference, we felt that it was important to go back to the block. And we had a discussion before, just as we always do before any album, and it was about being able to go back. There's a lot of people that aren't welcome back because of, you know, choices that they made and dipping out and not giving back, but you always are constant about giving, you know, but from a higher perspective. So
I always felt like, you know, I paid my dues in Compton. I grew up in Compton. I lost 2 brothers to gang violence in Compton. I mean, they dead in the grave. I got shot in Compton. My sister got shot in Compton. That is my block, and I always made it a staple to just tell myself and make sure that it was known around Compton, and can't nobody tell me I can't come to my city, to my block. It's not like it ain't a force field over Compton. You just get off the freeway, you drive through it if you want to. I just felt like I paid my dues, and this, you know, my block is my block. So whenever I feel like going back, I go, I hop out, and it's usually all love. And when I was doing my thing, when I was young, I was an asshole, and I was stupid. And so everybody knows the real stupid game. So a lot of times that saves the new game, because nobody really be tripping.
yeah. I'm gonna touch on a couple things, man. We taking you kind of a little walk down memory
John
lane.
made me do the, I'm gonna say, you made me do this Tupac reverse bandana shit. Got me looking like Ancient Mama, and I didn't like it. So the reason you never seen this shit, it's good.
He vetoed it.
Vetoed it.
You saw it tonight, man. Get that flick going. You won't ever see it again.
So that was a Ja Pac moment, like a Pac rule.
Yeah, but that was, I think, hot at that time. I don't know. What about this one, man? You know, this is a little sprinkle of DMX a little bit, but you know, dogs on the block.
Yeah, that's my dog Tupac, man. And somebody, after the documentary dropped, somebody stole him out the backyard. Never gave him back and shit. Yeah, Tupac.
Speaking about a swap meet, we had a little moment in these kicks. I wanted to just like rip off your, you know.
Yeah, I don't know where they are, man, but those are famous, man.
Yeah, and you know, the fact that it just tied into the tattoo, you know what I mean, it was just like, again, this moment of reverence, but honoring culture. You know, it was much bigger than just doing it for yourself. It was honoring a feeling, and I think the presentation of that feeling is something that you always have achieved, and certainly we visually try and sort of bolster at every time out.
Yeah, this picture right here was like, for me, it symbolizes everything that I used to do when I woke up. Like, if I had somewhere to go. So if I met a chick at like the mall, and you know I got a number and we was going on a date, I go to the swap meet, get me a new fresh khaki suit. You know what I'm saying, for that date, because khaki suits,
pressed or unpressed,
khaki suits made of like damn near notebook paper. So you gotta buy like a new one every day. You know what I'm saying? You got somewhere to go, man.
Little backyard barbecue action again. Speaking to the culture. You know, I speak about how family has stayed around you, obviously for the right reasons, because you're the heart of, you know, kind of this pulse of kind of what moves forward. You know, your brother right here is just like a small section. You know, this shot and a crew shot, you know, that's coming. Like, talk about what this meant. I mean, you sort of touched it, but, you know, as everybody's still with us, and like, you know, what does this mean to have documented something that was important at the time?
For me, this is a picture of what my immediate homies was from my hood. It's 4. It's 4 people in this picture are no longer alive, and it just, damn, man. Time. I mean, when you took this picture, man, it was just like I felt like me and my homies we was all good, man, and that we would all be here 10 years later. But that's just, sometimes it's not how, you know, the cookie crumbles, man. And so 4 of my homies that's in this picture are no longer alive, and this shit is just crazy looking back, man. But that's in the canal, in my, like, right at the end of my block, and you know, it's still there, man.
Well-traveled turf, and in fact, we walk the exact same steps. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is currently. You can tell because I got guns now.
Yeah, a couple.
Oh shit.
Sorry, take that one out too. We're gonna rip through a couple of these quickly. I know we got a documentary to get to. You know what I mean? But this was one of the most major moments for me. And he showed up because he wanted to show up. It wasn't sort of like, hey, come through because I need you. You know what I mean? It was like everybody wanted to be part of it, you know, including me. I'm gonna rip through these quick. But tell me what this moment was like to have, obviously, somebody that you, as a mentor, as somebody who believed in you and your vision.
You know, from being, like I said, from being a young kid and only being able to see Dr. Dre or Easy if they was riding through the hood, or if it was, you know, a toy drive or Thanksgiving turkey, something like that. To go from that, you know, being on the receiving side, you know what I'm saying, to being right under Dre, being able to study under Dre, and him being my mentor, for me has always been real huge to me. And man, Dr. Dre, man, it doesn't really get more 100 than Dr. Dre. And a lot of people might have shit to say about Dre, this way or that way. Just don't say it out loud if I'm around, because it's gonna be a problem. Because that dude really gave me an opportunity to be something, And a lot of people don't come along in everybody's lives and give them an opportunity to change their lives. And such like catastrophic proportion. Like what he did for me was like major. You know what I'm saying? It really helped mold me. It really helped keep the legacy of my city going. It helped, cats like YG and Kendrick get on, just Dr. Dre. So, a lot of people think the headphones when you say Dre, or he got $1 billion, and that's cool, man. Dre still wear the same outfit, same white Air Force Ones. He got $1 billion. You can't really see it if you see him, because he don't wear jewelry or nothing like that. And if I call Dre, pick up on the first ring, and game time, and I got Dre's voice down, and that's it, man. So that right there, man, that was like me, man, and I loved it, man. I appreciate you for just documenting that.
Oh man, it was an honor. This is actually, and he's one of the main reasons why I'm sitting here. And so he, in a roundabout sort of way, gave me the same opportunity, because understanding what that was and wanting to learn more about that and the doc and whatever. And a kid from Cleveland, we pulled from the West Coast and the East Coast and down South, but the West was always that special sweet spot, man. I know we got to move on to the movie, but I can't resist kind of ripping through, so I'm sorry. These are a couple of new images that we created. Same canal, same importance. You find some of these in the package, but just to compare and contrast, like the Young Game, again, to see the same footsteps, you know what I mean, but different, which led us to something that I feel is quite epic and begins a new chapter. Like certainly the light is on the West, and that's something that you have nurtured for 10 years, for the rest of the cats coming up, the Kendricks and the YGs and all that,
Right.
I'll kind of leave it at this, man. You've touched so many people with what you've done, man. What does the next 10 years look like? And then we get into this documentary.
The next 10 years for me just looks like, always,
That was the last question. We're on our last question right now, so
good. Fall back, homie. I don't like this nigga energy. Hey, move him, man. Fuck is you, nigga? You got 2 minutes.
Now I got 5 more pictures to show you.
I don't like niggas like that. Anyway, so the next 10 years, man, I always kind of just model my career in the footsteps of like Ice Cube and Dre, and always look at them, and I say Dre's 50, I'm 35, so by the time I'm 50, I want to be doing this or that, man. But I live day to day, so I live according to how I feel after I brush my teeth in the morning, because you never know when God is going to remove you from earth. So man, I try to just live my life to the fullest. I'm more of like I'm just so into and so involved in my children's lives, man, that I think in the next 10 years, I'm going to still be, who I am at heart, and just a father, man. That's all it's about for me these days.
We're here to celebrate Documentary 2. I expect y'all to pick up that album. If you could give me one sentence about it, and I know that I expected 10 more minutes, and I'm not going to take them, but, Documentary 2. All right. So what producer inspired you the most to deliver the goods on this one?
You know what? The producer that inspired me the most, and is somebody that I think is gonna shock the game, man, and it is Bongo. I met this dude through one of my homies, Marcus. He told me he was gonna bring his dude through to play some beats. Whenever somebody says I'm gonna bring my homie through to play beats, it instantly makes you like, fuck your homie. Because I already know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be some nigga come through, play 90 whack ass beats. I'm gonna have to sit there through them because I'm a nice guy, hear all these shits. But he came through, man, and he played this beat, man. And I think we did the song, we recorded Made in America in like 20 minutes, man, and after that we formed this camaraderie, man, this friendship, and he ended up doing 85% of the album. And every time I play the album for somebody, whether it's Jermaine Dupri or Diddy or Dr. Dre, and they ask me who did this beat, and then it goes to the next song, they say who did this beat, and I tell them Bongo every time, man. They just look at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And like, I think like this, he one of the people that been thankful to me. Like, I thank him when he's not around, just to myself. I'll be like, what the fuck would my album sound like if I didn't meet this dude? You know what I'm saying? So when you do get the documentary too, if you do, when you do, man, you understand that the production value that this kid got is amazing, man. He can do anything, man. And every time in the history of hip hop or music, when you meet somebody, a producer or an artist, a singer, or anybody, you know, musically that can do everything, they gonna have there's longevity to that, man. So congrats, man.
Yeah, man. So congrats on your longevity, man. I know we gotta get to this. A couple things I gotta say about this. I've been told to. I didn't, but I guess we're not allowed to shoot video of this. Screen grabs, all good. Photos, cool. Do your thing, but let everybody have their run with this video. That need to do what they gotta do. Right. My dude, I appreciate you, man. 10 years in the game. This is an unparalleled run. You passed some of the main people that I have worked with for also 10 years, so I'm praying for another 10. Documentary 3, I'll shoot in 10 years from today. Maybe something like that?
Hey, something like that, man. This dude shot the Reasonable Doubt album cover, man. You shot Aaliyah.
I did.
Yeah.
Got a couple.
Lucky bastard.
Oh, man. Well, you actually are the recipient of an amazing gift I took off the wall at my show because of how you looked at that print, and I say Aaliyah print.
I love Aaliyah, man. He gave me we was at a show, and at shows, they don't take art off the wall and give it to you, but he took it off the wall and gave it to me because I didn't move from the Aaliyah photo, and appreciate it, man.
You're very welcome, man. Whatever you want. I will leave it at that, man. There's so many good pictures. You got to pick up the album. We're going to do some special stuff, man. This is an image that, we can't put out because,
Yeah, it's dope.
We'll talk to Sato about that, but yeah. This is one of the hard ones that we wanted to put out there, but no luck, man.
Yeah, man.
Next time, we'll get out there in some form. But
man,
that's it, Doc 2. Pick it up. Thank y'all for coming out. We got a whole thing to show you. I appreciate y'all listening to me ramble, in particular this man's wisdom, that he had to deliver. And man, it's nice to have you on New York Soul.
Love, man. I don't get
Cool.
that often, but I love it.
Cool. I guess we kick off. What? Oh, we can take our seats. We can take our seats, gang. Our job here is done.
Thanks.
Thanks, gang.